Supreme Court versus IRS. The future of digital privacy at stake. Hello everyone, we are fine and we hope you are too. Have you ever imagined having your financial data collected en masse by the government, without a warrant, without warning and without having committed any crime? Well, that is exactly what happened to more than 14,000 cryptocurrency users. Now, the case has reached the United States Supreme Court, and the decision could change everything about how our privacy is treated in the digital age. Stay until the end to understand how this judgment can impact even those who have never used a cryptocurrency. The center of the controversy is the case Harper versus Faulkender. James Harper, a client of cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase, had his data handed over to the Internal Revenue Service, the equivalent of the U.S. Federal Revenue Service, through a legal maneuver known as a John Doe summons. This type of request allows the government to collect information about unidentified people under the justification of investigating possible fraud. The problem? No warrant was requested. No specific evidence was demanded. Just a generic summons that silently reached more than 14,000 people. What began as a supposed tax investigation has evolved into a constitutional debate that is about to be judged by the highest court in the U.S. judiciary. This story is just beginning. We will soon understand why this case could overturn a decades-old legal doctrine. The third-party doctrine. The basis used by the IRS to justify data collection is the so-called third-party doctrine, a legal rule that emerged before the digital age. It establishes that, by handing over your information to third parties, such as banks, telephone operators, or brokers, you theoretically give up your right to privacy over that data. The problem, according to the New Civil Liberties Alliance, NCLA, is that this doctrine no longer fits the current reality. How can we avoid using digital services? How can we not share data with third parties in a world where everything is connected? Attorney Kannon Shanmugam, on behalf of the NCLA, took this discussion to the Supreme Court, arguing that the doctrine should be reviewed, or even annulled. The justice's position. This argument is not isolated. Justice Sonia Sotomayor herself has publicly stated that the third-party doctrine is outdated and inadequate for the digital age. Mark Chenoweth, president of the NCLA, was emphatic: people have no choice. They have to use third-party services to live in the digital world. That does not mean they lose their right to privacy. The case has gone through several contradictory decisions in the lower courts. In 2022, Harper was authorized to sue the IRS. But in 2023, the lawsuit was dismissed based on the old doctrine. Now, everything depends on the Supreme Court's ruling, which could reverse this understanding. But after all, why does this matter so much? And what does it have to do with you, who are watching us now? The global impact on privacy. This trial is not just about cryptocurrencies. It is about the future of all our privacy. If the precedent is upheld, government agencies will be able to continue to access personal information, financial, location, consumption, without the need for a warrant, as long as this information is with third parties. In other words, emails, bank details, cloud files, and even information collected by apps could be at risk. On the other hand, if the Supreme Court recognizes that the digital world requires new rules, this will pave the way for a general review of the way governments access and use our data. What's at stake and the reward for the viewer? If you've stuck around this far, understand, this case could be the turning point between a past of silent surveillance and a future of real protection of digital privacy. The Supreme Court's decision could set a new global standard. James Harper isn't just fighting for himself. He's fighting for a redefinition of what privacy means in a world where everything is connected. So keep following the case, get informed and share. Because this discussion isn't just about law, it's about freedom. About the right of every citizen to control their own data. If you believe that privacy is a right and not a privilege, share this video and activate the bell. Here, you'll stay up to date with the changes that are shaping the digital world and your rights. Until next time.